Early in the morning, early in the evening, early in supper time. So, I do have to trust the weather. Let's check that weather while we welcome people in.
Okay. Because we need to trust the weather so we can go to the beach. Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. So
Good morning. Morning.
Good
It's
morning.
a
Good
Friday.
morning. It's Friday. I love Friday because it's the beginning of my 3-day weekends. And actually, it's a great day for me to be catching up, um, talking to people. It's a great day to just rest and relax, uh, go to the beach. Joe's checking out his
Yeah, it
beach
looks okay.
forecast.
It looks okay.
You never know.
But the sunrise this morning was fantastic. If you didn't see the feed from Jupiter Island that I share, just look at my profile. Go jump to my profile, Joe Dutkiewicz, and you can just see the wonderful. The moment they started with. It was this nice darkness with fire, this fire from the sun. It's just a beautiful glow. So it's
Wow.
pretty inspiring. Plus the wave action, just really get you in the mood for a nice, calm, peaceful morning. It was really rough during the hurricane that was coming through, the tropical storm, but now it's calmed back down and it's just almost placid.
Well, isn't that interesting? I'm a little bit jealous that you saw it and were awake, but
Guess you'll have to catch up on something.
not too much because I was enjoying the backside of my eyelids. So today I think we get to talk about something that is the basis of all of our relationships. And as I think about that, it's like what could be so incredibly important that it trumps, I think, almost everything else. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. Well, it's up there. Let's just say it's up there.
It's really important. So, trust. It's a pretty big deal, right? And it's one of those things that's there's got to be a give and take. And I think about what do I think? My first thought when we started talking about this subject was trust me. And it was one of those, do I really want to trust you? Can I trust you? What's going to happen? Because, you like to play little tricks on me once in a while.
Do I? I don't think so. There's no way.
Yeah.
Oh,
listen to you.
Talking.
My goodness.
Goodness gracious.
So I'm supposed to be trusting you while you share this video out and get started here. I love
amazing
it.
What I say. Yeah.
Amazing indeed. So what was your first thought when you started thinking about trust?
Well, I look at, as I try typing and saying hello and hopefully the comments appear. One of the things that
you have to trust, Joe.
I have to trust that my phone will actually process it.
That's right.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so trust. One of the things I think about with trust is really that interaction, that few seconds. Now, when I was quite young, I was told that we had some relatives come over, and with some relatives, I was really peaceful and happy that they held me. And then there's a couple other relatives that not so.
Do you remember this?
Yes, I do. Well, I remember. I don't necessarily remember. I just was told that I had a good sense of who was friendly, who was really being authentic, who cared, and then who didn't. And I think as children, we have that understanding. We can just, on impulse, we kind of go all just trust everybody, but we do have some sense of somebody that may not be, to our liking. Well, there's some kind of obstacle, right? There's some kind of block.
There's an innate built-in thing. I mean, we look at our grandson, and in the mornings, he calls me, and he spent so much time chatting with me that there's like this instant smile, right?
Yeah. I have to work for it a lot more. I have to do a lot of more head bumps, and I think his mom is tickling him so he laughs every once in a while.
I don't think so. He's pretty genuine, but it's interesting to just see the difference in the time spent
Yes.
with a person and that trust factor that
Right.
gets built.
Yeah.
So I think you brought some slides with you even
right
today.
But now, before we get there, I just want, so what do you feel? Say hello and welcome. By the way, if you don't know, I'm Joe, this is Lisa. It's reversed on the description.
Oh, maybe we should switch spots.
There we go. One of the things that I think is important is, and most people can relate on this, when you go into the workplace, when you go to work every day, and it's a little more hard, a little more difficult in this situation where you're working from home, potentially, or you're masked, or kept in a space that you shouldn't really wander, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep the space, keep the social distancing. And I think one of the things that we as humans really like is to be able to go and just chat.
Yes.
A lot of friendliness, a lot of relationships are built by just walking up to somebody in the workplace and chatting for a few minutes.
Absolutely.
Right? Even though you may not know them, but you may say hi to them quite often or whatever, you start building a trust. And it's hard to believe, but we have now pushed down that trust window to 4 seconds. We make a determination in 4 seconds whether we like somebody or not. Before we've met them, before we've interacted with them, how they look, how they're coming across, whether they're, too busy, or whether they have a reputation already of not really interacting with people, not being, there's been times when people said, I'm stuck up, I'm a snob. It's like, really? And it's because people don't get to know you, because they've already put that window up that said, oh, he's difficult to get along with. He doesn't listen.
Is really interesting, because I think a lot of times it just has to do with that person's own comfort level. Like introverts, for example, they might seem a little bit more standoffish. They might come off as that stuck up kind of nature that you're talking about. Yeah. But really, if you just take the moments to get to know that person, all of a sudden that perspective shifts.
Right. So yeah, never put an introvert in a networking situation, because they're going to be in the corner trying to avoid and getting out of there as quick as possible. So, not everybody, right? Some extroverts will do that too, because they've overloaded on how much they've told people.
But there's room for growth.
Yes, absolutely, right?
It is something that we can grow into. I know I'm very much an introvert. People don't know that. It's fascinating to me, because what I feel inside of myself and what other people perceive of me, they most times don't guess that I'm an introvert. Most of the time they think that I'm very outgoing and friendly and all this stuff. And inside, what I've felt is like, I just want to shrink away. It can be exhausting in a situation to be out networking, for example. And yet it's just really about that whole trust thing. And I think it's something that we actually develop as we age.
Yeah.
If you've grown up and you've got a lot of people that you've been able to trust, then that trust grows, right?
Yeah.
And if you've been in experiences where you've been burned, all of a sudden that trust will shrink back, and we're much more cautious to trust other people.
Yeah. So Lisa was going to get me a blindfold to see whether I would trust her in what we're going to talk about.
Well, I could have given you samples of different foods. Do you trust what's on this spoon?
Yes.
Now, actually, I came up with a lot of different trust games. I told Joe, you guys can weigh in on this. I told Joe yesterday, wouldn't it be fun if we would just start our mornings off with a little kind of a game, you know, to see who might win the game.
You mean like stand up and you fall back and see if I save you from hitting the floor? Type of game.
Well, that could have been a game for today. But it could be any kind of game. It could be that kind of game like I draw a picture on a paper that's on your back and you have to tell me what I drew.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
or it could be a cup stacking
Or whether
game,
you drew anything at all.
Well, you've got some truth there.
So let's talk about this one concept before we get into these three mindsets I want to talk about, or that we're going to talk about. And it relates to
I'm having a hard time thinking.
I'm in the wrong place. This is just kind of interesting.
Oh, I see what you did. That's funny.
Yeah.
He started at the end.
He started at the end, so there you go.
I'm going to read the quote so you can talk about it.
Okay, go ahead.
Invulnerability is a desire to be sheltered from harm or damage. It's this desire for invulnerability that can keep us from pursuing life and truly engaging with others. Now, the first time I read this quote,
yes,
I had to stop.
Yes.
And the first thing I had to process was invulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about that, Joe.
So let's make it easier. Vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Vulnerable is letting your guard down, sharing something with someone that you might have not shared. It might be a secret, might be something from your past that you finally released to somebody that they didn't know.
So we don't, oftentimes I hear people say, I don't like being vulnerable. I feel vulnerable and I don't like it.
Yeah. So one of the things I've talked with you about is back when I was quite young, a couple of years old, my parents had given me a little plastic lawnmower that actually made a noise, made it sound like it was a lawnmower running, right? Mm-hmm. So I would drive it around and be entertained by like I'm cutting the grass. Well, one day that noise stopped, and then I started beating. This is probably where I learned how to take care of some of my frustration. This is my outlet. I started programming this into my mind to beat the thing into the ground, and maybe it'll work. We've had actually things kind of come back to life that way, but
Wesley does that too.
Yeah.
You
so
can see that.
It's like bang it on the ground. Hopefully, get that sound going, because that was the important part, not the fact that I was driving around with the lawnmower. So sharing that is like a little bit embarrassing because it shows kind of a darker side. But it's being invulnerable then is this wall that you put up, because you don't want to be harmed. You don't want people to know your secret. And that prevents us from pursuing our life full out. It prevents us from engaging. So we put up that invulnerability, and then we say, you can't attack my shield, or you can attack my shield, but you're not getting through to me. So you think about the archers, and the opponents to the archers would hold up shields, and the arrows would land into the shield and not go through. Well, theoretically, not go through to the person holding the shield. So when we put up that wall, we break down. We already put up an obstacle to trust.
So it's really important to be vulnerable to a point.
To a point, you don't need to air all your laundry in the first 4 seconds that you've met somebody.
Phew.
Get to know them over time. And it's because your filter is saying this is damaging to me and I don't want to share it. So the Center for Creative Leadership had this perspective on trust, that there's 3 factors: ability, integrity, and loyalty. Now, if you've got a different perspective of that, please share it. We love to understand
Absolutely.
How other people look at trust. But one of the things I thought about is having integrity means that you're going to act, you're going to relate to people, you're going to share with people, you're going to bring that trust, you're going to share that trust that you have with them. You're going to be truthful, you're going to follow up on what you say, so
Your
that
character
trust,
traits,
right,
your
your ability to follow
values.
through, loyalty, when people give us um, what we expect, our loyalty level increases, therefore the trust level increases. Our ability to trust, if we have weakness in that, then our trust isn't going to be as high for the people we deal with. So this is when we see this is perceived trustworthiness. So if you act in accord with your trust, you deliver on trust, you say what say and deliver what you're going to do, and your uh, build this loyalty with people, your trust level is high. So one of the things I think about is Simon Sinek's "Leaders Eat Last," and then there is the circle of safety,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a high trust factor when the leader, when the organization takes care of the people and ensures that they are empowered and they have working room and they are engaged and want to uh, protect the company against outsiders. So they're the ones holding the shield up, create that invulnerability, but they're protecting the company, and they say, because I'm protecting the company, I know this company, I know how well it works. When they go out to the customers, they extend that circle of safety, and that's a very high trust level.
And I think that's a really easy way to see those examples of integrity and loyalty.
Yes.
But it's also their ability to take care of you. It's their skill set that's building into the relationships that are growing. It's their skill set into as far as knowledge and
Right.
um, it all builds into the trust.
Yeah. Okay. So Ernest Hemingway, I really like this. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. So what we want to do is not hold back trust. So that 4 seconds, really work towards trusting somebody that you're coming to meet, that you're walking to meet, or they're coming to meet you. Trust them. Because if you start saying, I'm not going to trust you until you prove your trust, the relationship's doomed.
It's dead in the water right there.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm judge and jury, and I'm going to determine whether I'm going to trust you. And so therefore stand and perform, and then I'll figure out whether I can trust you. And that just leads to discontent, that leads to frustration, that leads to missed expectations. And we put expectations in that 4 seconds.
So where do we start with all of this?
Well,
how do we?
So there's 10 mindset secrets. We're going to share three with you today. First one, and these are mostly questions because we want you to think into yourself. How well do you treat people if you gain nothing? So you can ask that to yourself. How well do I treat people if I gain nothing? So Give and Take by Adam Grant. This is a book that there's a third person, but one is a giver, one's a taker. There's a person in between that really seeks to serve, seeks to give, seeks to share without expectation of getting something back. But if you're gaining nothing back, are you just going to be dismissive of people?
Well, I think we need to be careful of this one too. Even when we are gaining something, I think about people who are working in the service industry. We're trusting them to deliver. Maybe it's your coffee in the morning, right? And how well are you going to treat them?
Yes.
Are we dismissing people just because we're only going to see them for a few seconds?
Right.
So I think that's really where this character building starts, in building trust in all of that. So we always need to be acting with integrity and, letting people know that they matter.
Yes. Yes. So be forthright, be willing to say, okay, I am putting my trust in you. That one, you can't value people if you don't trust them. Right.
Sure.
So if you say I value people, well, then you're putting a trust level in there.
Mm-hmm.
They may do you wrong later on, but you can't start that conversation going if you don't value people, and that requires level trust. So we'll go back to number 2. Am I transparent with others? And how do they know it? I love this one because it's like the ultimate point of trust. Am I transparent? Am I sharing? Am I willing to give of myself by giving my trust to that person? And am I holding something back? So can they trust me? It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
So we have two people that are judges and they're holding back and saying, you got to perform for me. Well, neither one's it's going to be an impasse, right?
Right. Right. Exactly. And you can sense it.
Yeah.
If
So how do you sense it?
How do I sense it? A hesitant answer might be a really great clue if somebody's holding something back.
So body language.
Body language is huge. If somebody, you can see them shift, if they're a little bit uncomfortable with the question, that hesitation is as they're thinking like, what do I really want to share with this person? And those who are very transparent, they might tell you even more than you want to know.
Right. But it is also vocal. So on the phone, you don't have the body language. You can sense some, like they're just like moping in the background or whatever. But it's the vocal variety, how they say it, how much compassion they have with it, and feeling, or are they just yes, no?
Well, you bringing up the phone, just my first thought right there was when we're gaining trust with other people and you're talking to somebody on the phone, can you hear when that other person is doing another activity at the same time they're talking to you? So do you feel like that person is too busy to put your best interest at heart? It's like, are they doing some other sort of paperwork? Are they playing a game on their phone while they're still talking to you? Are they scrolling Facebook? How often does that happen?
Yeah. Am I in the bathroom?
And I hate when people are in the bathroom when I'm talking to them.
Yeah. Or messing around in the kitchen and all you hear is no. Didn't you hear me?
There are certain people you can do that with. Like,
yeah.
If you and I are talking to each other constantly.
If you know that person's doing something and
But I think we need to be aware that we are always building trust with the people that we have relationships with, and especially in the workforce. If you're talking to your clients or your boss or whomever it may be, coworkers, we need to make sure that they have our full attention so like we can build that trust with them.
Right. And I think it's been said, you can lose it in a second, and it takes a lifetime to recover trust.
It feels like that, for sure.
Yeah. So number 3, do I role play based on the persons I'm with? Do I role play? So this is an interesting one. When you've got an appointment, an interview, for instance, and you're getting prepped. Oh, I got to think about all these questions they might ask me. I need to know the answers. I need to know what I'm going to say. So you practice all this stuff, but do you practice about the person you're meeting? How would I react? How am I going to respond to somebody that maybe is testing me for this interview? They're going to push me. There's some interviews that are really combative because they want to see what your stress level is, how you respond to stress. Do they make you wait, and then they come in? And so you're placed into a room. I've been in this one a couple times. I've been waiting for the next interviewee because it's an all-day thing, and I'm waiting, and then somebody comes in. It's my next person that's interviewing me, and then they're like in a hurry. Oh, sorry, I was late. Da 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 da. And then you're like, whoa, I only got a few minutes. Sorry, it ran over. Right. Yeah. And it's like, I really don't care. I really don't want to be here. I don't know why I'm here. One person interviewed me, said, I don't know why I'm here. It's somebody else is going to be making the decision, but they wanted. So do you have any questions for me? So do you role play for those? If you're going to meet people, and you know who they are, do you role play to say, this is how I'm going to respond, or this is how I'm going to maintain my composure, how I'm not going to put up that block?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think we role play in a lot of different ways. If you're with one person and you feel like you can just let loose and be free, and then you're with another person and you're just like, oh, I have to act all prim and proper,
Yeah.
it takes on a different piece of your personality, or you're kind of faking it.
Yeah.
And faking it's not cool.
So in that 4-second window, just think about it. You're really like maybe 2 seconds of that, you're role playing. How's that person coming? Your mind is capturing all this in and saying, oh, how's this person approaching me? Oh, they look hurried. They look like they don't care. They're just like rush, boom, boom. Or maybe they said something to somebody and really got, not a good positive vibe from them. So how am I going to respond to that? How am I going to take that person in and trust them, because I need to trust them?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to stop my own filters, my own perspective from ruining this possible interaction?
So we need to give trust right away.
Yeah.
It's good.
Aristotle said, even that some people try deceive me many times, I will not fail to believe that somewhere, someone deserves my trust. I just love, this is great. I mean, Aristotle's got some great things from long, long ago, but it can be said today. Hold this as your mindset. Someone, somewhere needs my trust, deserves my trust, wishes that they had trust, because that someone would trust them.
Absolutely.
They've been pushed down many times, and they're looking for someone just to give them that helping hand. So be the person that goes forward with that person. That other person needs my trust, deserves my trust.
Because truly, trust matters, and you matter, and you make a difference. You can be that gift in somebody else's world that nobody else can give them.
That's right.
So it's really important to give that trust, to receive the trust from others and use it responsibly. And I think that's a great place for us to start growing.
Yes. So thank you for joining us. If you would like to know the other 10...
The other 7?
Well, the other 7 of the 10. If you would like to learn about all 10 mindset questions, just drop a note in the comments. We're going to put out more information. We'll share this a couple times, so you'll be able to jump in. There'll be a link. But for right now, just put it in, I'm interested in the other 7.
Or even just drop the number 7.
Yeah,
and you'll know.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, just put 7. #7.
No need for the hashtag.
No, or whatever.
No
However you want to put it. If you're interested, just put a note, because these are really powerful, and there will be some additional explanation, and we've got some help in each of those questions to think through, not just the question, but the approach.
And they'll be getting it via PDF, correct?
Yeah.
So, plain simple. Read it on your own time.
Use it. Yeah.
And use it. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, with that, we wish you a very happy weekend. I am excited about making waves this weekend.
Yes, you're going to be knee deep and connecting with your colleagues. Yeah, it's going to be awesome from across the world.
I am pretty excited about that. Looking forward to the surprises they have for us. And maybe I can still talk Joe into the beach today. We can catch some waves too.
Catch some waves. All right. Take care, all.
Have a great weekend, guys.
See you.